move to approve consent agenda items A through E.
Second.
All those in favor? 6-0. Old business, approve NHS credit requirements.
You guys had a presentation from Mr. Smith last month. He gave you a couple of different options for graduation requirements. My recommendation is that we approve B, the graduation requirements B, which would make it to where the incoming class of next year's school, that would be when the next requirements would take place.
Any comments or questions on the item?
Mr. Smith's here. If you have any questions, he can answer these as well if you want to dig in deeper.
I would move to approve the January 25th, 2021, I'm sorry, the NHS credit requirements. That's what it is.
Second.
First and second. Any discussion? All those in favor? 6-0.
To clarify, that was B, right? Proposal B.
Yeah, as recommended.
Yes.
Approve NHS course revisions and additions.
I think these are great courses to add. The more we can diversify in any one of the buildings, the better off we are. So they've done their homework, and it looks like a pretty good deal.
I move to approve new courses, course revision, and internships for Newton High School for 2021-22 as presented.
Second.
Any discussion, questions? All those in favor? 6-0. Approve Opportunity Academy early graduate requests.
We'll probably get some of these filtering in from now until, well, hopefully not until May. Hopefully we'll get that May. But when these kids get done, they get done, which is the purpose of that school. So I would recommend that you do those.
Move to approve early graduation for Opportunity Academy students who want to basically meet the credit requirements.
Second.
All those in favor? 6-0. Approve KASB recommended policy revisions and adoptions.
Last month, it was brought up about the policy JHCAA, about whether we needed that. And then doing the inquiry with the building principals, and also that was run through our SROs, they felt that our principals felt our existing policies covered that we could just delete that policy. So that's the recommendation. The other policies are pretty standard, nothing crazy there. We'll do work on the wellness policy some other time. But other than that, the rest of them are good to go.
I move to approve revisions to board policy EBBD, GAR, JGCC, Form JBE, and delete policy JHCAA as presented.
Second.
All those in favor? 6-0. Luke, I feel like you just took an eye exam at the optometrist.
I didn't want to do that
You
one.
passed.
We're going to ask Blake what those letters were. We're going to prepare some comments.
Good to go. All right, COVID update.
Just a couple of things to kind of share with you. You'll see in the packet, there's some information from Karen Lehman about the testing, the asymptomatic and the surveillance testing, as well as just a general update for how the testing is going. Our new nurse is going to come on board after tonight. Since she's been approved, we're pretty excited about that. And that will allow for even more expansion of that testing program. We're real fortunate and want to thank you guys for the addition of that nurse. And we think it's helping. When we look at our numbers, I sent numbers, I put that out in board docs earlier today. When we look at our gating numbers collectively, this is the first time since, gosh, I don't know when, we hit actually the green in terms of the actual color. If we were to look at the three chart, or the three criteria chart. And based upon that and how the numbers are kind of falling as it relates to what our trends are, we want to have that discussion a little bit about, what is our mode of learning? We've got this up through the 12th, which is this Friday. And then, how do we want to proceed from that point on? So, my recommendation, I don't know if you guys want that now, if you want to talk about that a little bit, about any of the numbers, or you just want me to give my recommendation for that. My recommendation, honestly, based upon the numbers and with the testing we have going on, with the vaccinations that are rolling out, I think we would be fine to come back in full person attendance on March 1st. I really, really do. Gives us a couple weeks before spring break to kind of get our feet wet with that full attendance at Chisholm and at the high school. You've got that week of spring break, and then we come back after the break, and this is just how we do school. And we would do this the same that we have done with the other modes. My recommendation would be to keep in that mode unless we have staffing issues or we have case issues, we have transmission in the high school. We don't revisit this just like we're doing for the other buildings. That is, of course, unless things just go terrible, the new variants just go wild, and we have case counts like what we had prior to and around that Thanksgiving holiday. So I just feel it's a good way to go. I know we have concerns up at our secondary level, once again, with HVAC and with social distancing, which we won't be able to do the full in-person attendance. But with the way the vaccines are rolling out for staff, a lot of our staff will have at least one dose. Some will have two. We know titers haven't built up by then, but with our percent positive going down as it is in the case numbers in the county. And also the recommendations that are going to come out from the Kansas State Department of Education this week about getting them back on campus. I think it's a good route to go.
So you think we need to do it tonight?
Yes.
Okay, so would you want us to approve a full on-site starting March 1st?
March 1st.
And continue our current mode through the end of February.
Yes. Yes.
So I would move that we do this now, that we continue our current mode until March 1st, and time to go full on-site. Hopefully for the rest of the year, but understanding we'll update as things go along.
Second?
Second. No.
Are there any comments or questions? Okay, if not, all those in favor? 6-0. New business, approved gift requests.
Okay, the Board of Education would like to thank the following for their gifts to the district. Northridge PTO, Northridge Elementary online subscription for social studies, and is that IXL renewal site license?
Yeah.
Okay, in the amount of $959.55. Millennium Machine, Newton High School, Wheeler Robotics, donation to assist with travel expenses and supplies in the amount of $1,000. And Bud and Steve Auto Service, Newton High School, Wheeler Robotics, and a donation to assist with travel expenses and supplies in the amount of $100.
Do you want to do a motion for that?
I just said thanks. Okay, move to approve the gift request as presented.
Second.
All those in favor? 6-0. Approved wrestling club proposal.
You folks have a proposal that the Newton Wrestling Club put out for February 27th and 28th. They've got a pretty good plan to use the facility in terms of how they will set it up like what was done for the Tournament of Champions for fewer participants, and then they're going to have limited spectators. This is their one fundraiser of the month that allows them to pay the maintenance facilities that they use. They've given us this request with a lot of time to make sure that, we can have our facilities and stuff in place, and I think it's okay. I support the recommendation that you passed.
And this is actually, we can kind of our transition from current mode to the ring mode, is that right?
That would be correct, yeah.
I'll move to approve request from Wrestling Club to use the new high school as requested.
Second.
All those in favor? 6-0. Approve 2020-21 negotiated agreement and review number 3.
This is just to account for the additional PE day within the schedule. We have to get that transfer from the attendance day to the professional development day. It's going to be a February thing.
I move to approve the MOU to the current year's contract as presented.
Second.
All those in favor? 6-0. Department reports are available. Oh my, work comments.
All right, I talked to Andy a little bit before the meeting tonight, and he wanted me to speak to the Lindley Hall project a little bit. We're having our first meeting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, and I guess what we need to address a little bit is, so I think a lot of people know there was an article in the paper that was talking about that project, what we're doing with Lindley Hall. And there's a lot of people that maybe are just sort of making assumptions about what that's going to be. What it's going to be is a historical display, not simply just a plaque. And, you know, that decision was made by the board to do that in November of 2019. And what we're doing right now is just carrying through that decision. We want to see it go to fruition. So before anybody really says whether what we came up with was good or bad, we just want to have the chance to finish that project. We're not, there's not any new decision to be made. Again, it was made in November 2019, and we're going to finish that project. Thank you to Matt for sort of revitalizing that and reminding us that that's something that we need to be done. And I know our current president supports what we're doing. And they just want to see that Andy and I and the rest of the committee can continue that project and do it right. So to the community members that are highly concerned about that, again, if you have strong suggestions, you can get a hold of one of us, make recommendations if you'd like. But, you know, we're going to give it a good effort. You know, we believe that we can do something that's really good. There are stories that weren't told well in the past. Frank Lindley's story has been told in numerous different forms. For the folks that were left out, their story hasn't been told adequately, and we want to do that. And we just ask that people give us that opportunity to finish that project. So I think we're going to come up with something really good. Again, we're meeting for the first time tomorrow, so please give us time to finish that. That's all I have.
Thank you, Congressman.
I wanted to bring up, I don't know if we need to put it on the agenda for next time, how we want to do it, but I was approached by a community member about the recently adopted city flag and having that on our campuses.
Kind of what?
On our campuses,
Okay.
flying it at the schools. So anyway, just wanted to share that and see if we wanted to discuss that or how we wanted to proceed with that.
The only regulations are that we have it on the campus flag, so it would just be a matter of us getting those flags and figuring out. I don't know how long the flags last here, you know. So you've got to take into account how many times you have to replace those. There's always a cost associated with that. So I mean, I think it's kind of a cool idea.
I think it's a great community builder, because we're seeing that displayed around the city. I think the fire station has
Yeah.
one flying. Do you have any idea what the wear on it is? I think they've been up since October. Is what I was told. No.
I don't know how many we got, but I know
Okay.
there's been flying at the stations.
And I've seen some of the kids have some sports gear now, that they're kind of incorporating
Yeah.
the city flag with some of the school in to kind of, it's kind of both, it's like a hybrid thing, but I see it's gaining traction.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about it until they approached me about it, and I was like, oh, yeah, that would be a really good way to show support to the community and, have that flying.
Well, glad I heard we need to have it on an agenda.
I don't know, I've never had a flag adoption for a school.
Like, we're looking
So,
into it.
I think we, if you want to direct me to do that by consensus, I mean, we'll just figure out a way to get it done.
That's fine.
I think it's cool. I think it's a great idea.
The only thing that I would bring up is that we do have one of our buildings that is not in our city.
And I think we should only do it for those in the city. honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know if Walton has a flag or not. I mean,
I
if
don't
they do,
believe
we'll-
so.
if they do, we'll hang it.
I don't know, not yet, maybe they'll come up with
Yeah,
one, I don't
yeah.
know.
Well, I mean, this is definitely not to leave anybody out, it's
Sure.
just,
Yeah,
the city has adopted it formally, so.
I would say that maintenance, that we replace our flags maybe every 6 months, because they have gone to flying them 24 hours a day. They shred with the wind. They
Yeah,
get
yeah.
pretty shredded on the end. I think we replace them about 6 months, and they're $20, $30 a piece. So I don't know what the city flag is, but
Well, you can have it printed anywhere, it's not copyrighted, so you can download it and have it printed anywhere. But I can give you the information that my person passed on to me.
That'd be cool. That'd be fun. Sounds good.
Okay.
Does anyone have any concerns or issues with that?
Be a perfect form to,
The only thing is throw it on an agenda for some public thing, but I'm fine with whatever you want. Luke, thank you to you and Andy again. I know you're all busy with your family things anyway, so thank you for taking on another project during the pandemic. I'm excited, just like everyone else, I'm excited to see what comes of this. I think it's going to be really great. So I want you to take your time and do it well, but I'm excited to see what your result is. So thank you for doing that. I think you guys are going to do a great job. And I'm really happy that you're on that committee and doing this work. And that is all. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
I move to adjourn.
second.
All those in favor? Zero.
No, next one.
Less than.